The galaxy had rules. Every planet, every race, every system followed the same code. The Galactic Council made sure of that. For thousands of years, the Council kept peace with power, with order, with fear. Planets were free to live, grow, and trade, but only if they followed the Council's way. Disobedience was not allowed, and those who disobeyed vanished. Earth was a young planet compared to others. It had grown fast. Too fast. In just a few hundred years, Earth had gone from steam engines to starships. Other races watched in silence, unsure of how this tiny blue planet moved so quickly. Some feared them. Some admired them. The Council. The Council saw danger at first. Earth played by the rules. They joined trade routes. They attended council meetings. They sent diplomats. But Earth never allowed full control. They kept their own weapons. They refused to give up their privacy. They never shared all their secrets. To the Council, this was a warning sign. They were not like the others. And that made them a problem. It started small. A council messenger arrived on Earth, asking them to shut down their military stations. Earth said no. The Council sent another, this time with a softer tone, offering peace credits, economic help, and high position in the galactic order. Earth thanked the man, still said no. Then came pressure. Trade routes were cut. Earth's ships were slowed. At checkpoints, Council officers searched human cargo more than others. Earth still said nothing. The galaxy began to notice. Earth was silent. Not angry, not loud, just silent. On the outer rim, a young alien pilot named Yari watched the news feeds. He had grown up hearing stories of Earth's wars and inventions. He respected them. But now, the feeds were full of whispers. Earth is proud, some said. Earth is selfish, others claimed. But one line echoed more than others. They must obey. So, the Council voted. Earth would be given one last chance, one final message. Obey or face the consequences. The Council's leader, High Chancellor Verex, spoke clearly on the day of the transmission. We gave Earth friendship. We gave Earth trade. We gave Earth peace. But they have refused. The Council has decided. Earth must now obey the law. If they do not, we will take action. The message was sent. Across light years carried by the fastest communication streams. It reached Earth in seconds. The world waited. Every council member, every diplomat, every spy watched for Earth's reply. Nothing came. No answer. No signal. No return message. Earth didn't speak. Earth didn't move. Earth just stayed quiet. The Council was shocked. Never before had a planet ignored a direct command. Even the strongest empires had bent the knee. Even the proudest kings had responded with at least a warning. But Earth did nothing. At first they thought it was a technical problem. Maybe the message was lost. Maybe Earth never received it. A council drone was sent, small and fast, to fly near Earth and record its behavior. It entered Earth's system, past Mars. Then the signal was gone, vanished. The drone didn't crash. It didn't send an alert, it simply disappeared from every screen. The council grew nervous. A second drone was sent, this time with cloaking. Same result. Gone. Now fear began to spread. Earth had never attacked, never even threatened, but something was wrong. Something felt. Off-Council Admiral Threx, leader of Fleet 4, spoke out. They are hiding something. Earth is not obeying, because they are not afraid. That should worry us, the Council agreed. A small fleet was sent out to attack, just to observe. 10 ships. Lightly armed, fast, quiet. Their mission was to approach Earth's orbit and gather information. They never arrived. They reached Earth's moon. They sent signals then. Nothing. The Council held a private meeting. All feeds were cut. Only the highest-ranking members attended. The room was quiet. High Chancellor Verex stood, his voice lower this time. We are not at war, he said. But Earth is no longer part of our system. They have chosen a different path. An old council member, one with gray skin and golden eyes, raised his hand. "I warned you," he said. "Earth is different. They think like no one else. They feel deeply. And when they feel threatened, they do not speak. They act. Quietly. Carefully." Varix looked away. He didn't believe in stories. But something in his stomach told him this time it wasn't a story. Soon, sensors across the galaxy picked up something new. A strange energy field was forming around Earth. It wasn't a shield. It wasn't a weapon. It was something else. A wall. Sealed gate. It's invisible to most scanners, but real. Strong. Alive. One scientist tried to explain it. "It's not tech," she said. "It's intent. It's made of something we don't understand. It's like Earth itself has shut a door." That night, across a dozen planets, stars flickered. Not from distance, not from time. From fear. Earth had sealed itself. The galaxy had no key. On a faraway world, young Yari watched the news feed in silence. He didn't speak. He didn't move. His heart beat fast. Something inside him whispered, "Earth is not gone. It's just waiting." The Council refused to give up. Pride blinded them. They decided to send one more ship, a single manned cruiser. Its captain was known for courage. He accepted without hesitation. The ship launched. It passed through known space. As it neared Earth's system, the ship's lights dimmed. The engine slowed. The captain looked out the window and saw nothing. No stars, no planets, just black. The ship turned. Back. Or tried to. Got to. It wouldn't move. A voice played inside the ship. Calm, human, strong. "You crossed the line," the voice said. "Now we close the gate." The captain screamed. But no one heard. Back in the council hall, the silence was louder than war. No more ships were sent. No more words were spoken. Earth had vanished. Not destroyed. Not killed. Not taken. Just sealed. The galaxy moved on, but nothing felt the same. Every time a planet misbehaved, the council remembered Earth. Every time a leader grew proud, they looked toward the part of the map marked blank where Earth used to be, and deep in the silence, Earth waited, not afraid, not angry, just patient. They had warned the galaxy once, "Do not cross the line." No one listened. Now, Earth was gone, and the galaxy would never be the same again. In a quiet chamber deep inside the Galactic Council headquarters, 6 beings sat around a circular table. The room was dark. The air was heavy. No one spoke for several minutes. Every attempt to contact Earth had failed. Every ship sent near. Earth had vanished. There were no explosions, no calls for help, just silence. High Chancellor Varek stood at the center of the room. His voice was cold. "We must know what happened to our ships," he said. "We need eyes on Earth."
No one
replied. He turned to General Krax of the Council's Black Division. The general was tall, reptilian, and known for sending teams into the most dangerous places in the galaxy. Krax nodded. "I'll send a small unit. Stealth only. Fast in, fast out. No weapons. Just eyes. Make sure they don't provoke anything." Vorek said sharply. "We can't afford another disappearance." The Council agreed. Within hours, a secret scout ship left from a shadowed base on Moon Station X4. It was small, black as space, and built to be invisible. Inside were 5 elite agents from different species, each trained in silent movement and survival. Their ship was called Whisper. The leader of the team was a young alien named Rillo. He had worked on more than 50 covert missions. He believed this would be just another job. "It's just Earth," he said to his crew. A quiet planet playing games. He didn't know how wrong he was. The Whisper entered the outer layer of Earth's solar system. Everything seemed normal at first. The planets were in place. The sun shone bright. But as they passed Saturn, things began to change. The stars outside the windows became dim. Not just distant dim, like the light was being pulled away. Their ship's sensors started to glitch. One by one, monitors blinked out. "We're losing connection," said one crew member. "Can't reach command." Relo frowned. "Switch. To internal nav." They continued forward. As they reached Earth's moon, a strange hum began to echo through the ship. It wasn't mechanical. It wasn't natural. It was something else. Something alive. "What is that?" whispered the youngest crew member. A quiet female named Lyra. Relo didn't answer. They could now see Earth through the window. It looked the same blue oceans, Greenland, white clouds, beautiful, peaceful, too peaceful. There were no satellites, no stations. No moving ships, not even birds in the sky. "It's like it's frozen," someone said. They tried to scan the surface. The scanners failed. "Try landing," Rilo said. The ship floated down, slow and careful. As it reached lower orbit, they saw something strange. The clouds parted in perfect circles, not moving with the wind, just moving away from the ship. Like Earth was watching them. "That's not weather," Lyra whispered. "It's reacting to us." The whisper landed near a wide, open valley. No cities, no buildings, just grass and silence. The team stepped out, suits ready. The air was breathable. The ground was soft. Birds chirped in the distance. "It's normal," Rilo said. "Too normal." They began to explore. For 1 hour, everything was quiet. They walked, took samples, and sent data back to the ship. Then Lyra stopped. "Where's Jarn?" she asked. Jarn, the big one, the warrior of the group, had been just behind them. Now he was gone. No sound, no scream, just gone. "Jarn." Ralo called, no answer. They checked their trackers. His signal blinked twice, then disappeared. "Back to the ship," Relo ordered. But the ship was no longer there. They ran to where the whisper had landed. Nothing, not even a burn mark on the grass. Where did it go?" Another agent asked. They were surrounded by open land. No hiding spots, no caves. The ship hadn't flown away. It had been removed. Erased. Rilo looked at the sky. It looked down. A shimmer of energy passed across the clouds. A soft wind blew through the valley. Then the ground beneath their feet pulsed once. Lyra fell to her knees. "It's Earth," she whispered. "It's awake." Suddenly, the sky cracked. It's not with lightning, not with sound, just a shimmer. Like glass breaking without noise. Above them, in the clouds, appeared a shape. A gate, round, closed, locked. A voice filled the valley. "You came uninvited." It was human. It was calm. It was final. The agents looked at each other. "We didn't mean harm," Rilo said aloud. "We only came to see," the voice replied. "You saw?" Then everything went dark. 3 days later, a single dropship arrived at Council Base Thatnine. Inside was one man. Agent Rilo. He was found sitting silently in the middle of the ship. He had no wounds, no damage, but his eyes were wide, his face pale. He didn't speak. Doctors tried to question him. He wouldn't answer. Then finally, after hours of silence, he said one word. "Sealed." The council was called to an emergency meeting. High Chancellor Varex listened to the report face. "Pale, what do you mean, sealed?" he asked. No one knew. The agent refused to say more. They played back the recording from the ship's internal feed. It was corrupted. Only one part remained. The voice you came uninvited. You saw. That was all. The council fell into panic. Other planets asked questions. What happened to Earth? Why is the council hiding the truth? But the council had no answers. Earth had taken back one of their own not to attack, not to hurt, but to deliver a message. Stay away. A few council members wanted to prepare for war. They are too dangerous, said Admiral Threx. We must act before they act. But others warned caution. They haven't attacked us, said Elder Vuma. They're only defending their space. But even that space was growing. Scanners began to show Earth's sealed zone expanding. Slowly, quietly, systems nearby started to lose power. Lights flickered. Ships drifted off course. No damage, just interference. Yari, the young alien pilot, now worked at a small cargo post near the edge of the expanding zone. One day he looked up from his post to see a shadow pass across the stars. It wasn't a ship. It was Earth's gate. It had moved, not by force, by choice. Earth wasn't hiding. Earth was watching. That night, Yari wrote in his log, "We were wrong. We thought Earth would obey. We thought silence meant fear. But now I see their silence is strength. Their patience is power. Their message is clear." Paused, then wrote the last line. "They gave us every chance. And now they are done talking." The council chambers were no longer filled with confidence. What was once a room of power, pride, and control now felt small, afraid, and uncertain. Earth had not fired a single shot, yet it had silenced entire fleets. It had sealed itself behind a strange force no one could understand. Now it was slowly expanding. No one had seen anything like it. High Chancellor Vorex stood in front of a wide projection screen. The image showed Earth from a distance, but something was different. Around the planet was a faint glow, like a second skin. It was not energy. It was not a shield. It was something else. "What are we looking at?" he asked. A council scientist stood beside him, trembling. "We don't know. Our instruments can't read it. It bends signals. It reflects scans. It eats sound. We only know one thing." "What?" "It's growing." The silence in the room was thick. A younger council member leaned forward. "Is it a weapon?" "No," the scientist replied. "It doesn't destroy, it just blocks. It hides. It seals." General Krax grunted. "Then we break it. Build something stronger. Send a shockwave." "Anything," the scientist turned to him. "We've already tried." Everything vanishes. Probes, light pulses, even thought waves. Earth's gate does not allow anything through, not even ideas. The words fell heavy. Thought waves were the galaxy's latest techs, silent, instant, untraceable. And even they couldn't reach Earth. Across the galaxy, rumors began to spread. Some said Earth had discovered godlike tech. Others believed Earth had formed a pact with an ancient force. One theory claimed that Earth was no longer in this dimension, only touching reality when it chose to. On a distant trade moon, a small girl with silver skin painted a picture. She had never seen Earth. She had never learned about it. But she drew a perfect image of the planet, wrapped in a glowing chain, with dark eyes above it. Her father asked her, "What is this?" She replied, "The planet that closed its door." Image went viral. At Council Academy, teachers began warning students never to speak Earth's name. Not for turn to the galaxy, not from war, not from death, but from mystery. From the unknown, in one of the private labs on Council World 9X. A young code reader named Thina stared at her screen. She wasn't a fighter or a leader. She studied patterns, symbols, and signs. And what she had found chilled her to the bone. She ran into the Chancellor's hall, pushing past guards. "I need to speak with Vorex," she yelled. The guards tried to stop her, but the Chancellor noticed her panic and waved her in. "Speak," he said. Thina showed him her data. "It's the gate," she said. "It's not just protecting Earth. It's sending a pattern, a countdown." Vorex froze. "A countdown to what?" "I don't know," she said. "But it resets every time we try to attack or approach." Rex narrowed his eyes. "Sure," saying the more we push, the longer Earth waits. Thina nodded. "Yes, but each time, the final number lowers." That night, Varric stood alone on his balcony. He looked up at the stars. Somewhere behind those stars was Earth. Silent, watching, waiting. He remembered Earth's last recorded message, the one they all had ignored. "If you cross the line, we disappear. And when we disappear, we decide if we ever return." He had laughed at it then. Now, he wasn't laughing. In a secret chamber far from the public, 5 senior council members held a quiet vote. The plan was simple. Break the gate. Use forbidden tech. One device had been locked away for centuries, a core disruptor. It was not a weapon of destruction, but a tool to tear through space and energy. We fire it at the edge of the gate. One of them said, just to see if it reacts. We're already blind. Another replied, let's stop pretending we're in control. But they voted, and the vote passed. A stealth ship was sent, holding the disruptor core. It took a week to reach the edge of Earth's zone. By then, the glow around Earth had grown stronger, now visible, even to basic vision. Like a bubble made of light and silence, the ship approached carefully. The disruptor was activated. The air shimmered, and then nothing. The ship vanished. Not exploded. Not damaged. Just gone. But this time, something was left behind. A small black cube floated in space. It was not from Earth. It was not from the ship. It had no engine, no writing, no power source. Just a cube. A drone was sent to collect it. When they opened it, a voice filled the council hall. You do not knock on a sealed door. You wait, or you leave. The voice was human. It echoed across every screen, every broadcast, every device. The message was the same. We warned you. In the following weeks, Earth's gate expanded again. Slowly, gently. It was not invading. It was not attacking. But it was clear Earth was not part of the galaxy anymore. They had drawn a line, and the Council had crossed it. Back on World 5, a small alien boy played in the dirt. He drew a circle and stepped out of it. Then he looked up at his mother. If you step inside without asking, he said, the circle eats you. She laughed nervously. Where did you hear that? He looked up at the sky, they told me. Who? Quiet planet. Across the stars, ships began changing routes to avoid Earth's area. Travel maps were updated. Earth was now a no-go zone. No trade, no scans, no probes. Not even light signals were allowed to touch the edge of its space. The zone was marked in red, not because it was dangerous, but because it was sacred. And somewhere, deep inside Earth, in a hidden chamber far below the ground, a group of humans stood in silence. They were not soldiers, not politicians. They were watchers. They had known this day would come. One of them turned to the screen, showing the stars above. Gate is holding, she said. Pressure rising. Council still pushing. Another nodded. We warned them. A third voice, older and full of calm power, spoke. They will learn. Not through war, but through silence. And as the stars turned slowly above them, Earth remained quiet, and the galaxy trembled not from what it saw, but from what it no longer could. The Council's great hall was full, but no one spoke. For the first time in centuries, every planet in the Galactic Union had sent a representative. They had all come for one reason, to discuss Earth. 3 weeks had passed since the Black Cube appeared carrying Earth's warning. Since then, no one dared to approach the sealed zone. But that did not stop the fear. Questions spread faster than light. Why did Earth shut itself away? And most important, was Earth planning to come back? High Chancellor Varric stood before the crowd. His face was hard, but his voice lacked power. We are not at war, he began, but we are facing something new, something strange. Earth has made a choice. I must understand why. Someone from the back shouted, or maybe we should ask what you did to them. The hall went quiet. The voice came from a former ambassador, one who had lived on Earth for several years. His name was Dallin Run. He had silver hair and tired eyes. He walked to the front without asking permission. No one stopped him. You. All think Earth just sealed itself for no reason, Dallin said. But I live there. I know what happened. I'm here to tell the truth. Varric stepped back. Dallin looked out at the crowd. I arrived on Earth 20 standard cycles ago, he said. Back then, humans were proud, but they were also open, curious, kind. They welcomed me. Even though I was sent to control them, he paused. At first, the Council acted friendly. You remember, don't you? We offered trade deals, cultural exchanges, advanced tech in exchange for obedience. He raised his voice. But Earth didn't obey. Not because they were arrogant, but because they believed in freedom. Real freedom. The kind we only talk about in our speeches but never truly give. Murmurs spread through the crowd. You didn't like that, Dallin continued. So the council began its quiet war. The crowd shifted uneasy. First, you blocked their trade. Then you slowed their ships at every gate. You made laws that only applied to humans. You spread lies, called them aggressive, dangerous. You told other planets to stop working with them. And when that didn't work, he took a deep breath. You tried to break them. You pointed directly at Varix. You sent mind-binders into their schools. You tried to plant thought's weakness, guilt, shame. You wanted humans to believe they were wrong, to stand tall. You wanted them to kneel. Gasps filled the room, and Earth warned you. Again and again. Dallin pulled out a small disc. Pressed it. A voice played across the room. Calm. Human. Clear. We are willing to walk beside you, but not behind you. If you try to break us, we will walk away. Another voice followed, this one colder. If you cross the line, we disappear. If we disappear, we choose if we ever return. The recordings were real, dated, official, and ignored. Dallin turned off the disc. You all heard those messages. You laughed. You said Earth was bluffing, that no planet could survive alone, that they needed the galaxy. I stared at Varix. Again, you were wrong. The room was still. No one moved. No one spoke. Finally, Varix replied, We did what we thought was necessary. Dallin shook his head. You did what you always do. You demanded control. And when someone said no, you called it danger. He walked away slowly, but Earth was never dangerous. You were. Outside the council hall, news of the speech spread fast. Across hundreds of systems, beings watched the old human messages. Some cried. Some grew silent. Some looked up at the stars, wondering if Earth could ever forgive them. On a farming moon, far from the council's core, a girl asked her grandfather, Why did Earth leave? He replied, Because they were hurt. She asked, Will they come back? He said nothing. Back inside the council hall, panic had turned into regret. For the first time, some members began asking, What if we were wrong? But others still pushed for strength. Admiral Threx slammed his fist on the table. So what if we made mistakes? It doesn't give Earth the right to threaten the galaxy. We should prepare for their return. They haven't attacked, said Elder Vuma. They haven't even hurt anyone. They don't need to, Threx growled. Now look at us, we're already afraid. They've won without firing a single shot. Outside the chambers, young pilot Yari sat on a bench, staring at the stars. He had grown up believing Earth was powerful but cold. Now he saw something else. He pulled up an old report from a diplomatic meeting with Earth. There, in the background of the video, stood a small boy, maybe 8 years old, wearing a shirt that read, Kindness is not weakness. Yari looked at it for a long time. Then he whispered, What did we do? Meanwhile, on Earth, deep beneath the surface, a council of humans sat quietly. They were not smiling. They were not angry. They were watching. One of them spoke. The council remembers now. Another nodded. But do they regret? A third voice, calm and deep, said, Let them feel what silence teaches. And so Earth stayed hidden. No broadcasts, no messages, no answers, just the gate, glowing, unbreakable. A final warning to the stars. The council was desperate. The image of Earth's sealed gate burned in their minds like a ghost they could not chase away. The silence of Earth was louder than any war cry, and it haunted every meeting room. Every hall, every starship. High Chancellor. Varek sat alone in his chambers late at night. His fingers tapped nervously on the armrest of his chair. He knew the council was losing control. The galaxy was restless. The trade routes near Earth Zone were disrupted. Ships refused to pass through the outer systems. The council's authority was fading. We have to act, Varix whispered to himself. We must break the silence. What? In a hidden laboratory, far below the marble halls of the council, a team of scientists worked day and night. Their leader was a woman named Thena, the same young code reader who had discovered the countdown in Earth's gate. She was brilliant, but nervous. She had spent months studying Earth's barrier, trying to understand what made it so strong. Every time they tested a new weapon or probe, it vanished without a trace. Every attempt to scan through was met with failure. One evening, Thena gathered her team. "We have one chance," she said. "There is a device in our archives, forbidden long ago. It can break through energy barriers. It's called the core disruptor. If we fire it at the edge of Earth's gate, we might open a hole." Her assistant looked worried, "But it's dangerous. It could tear through space itself." "We don't have a choice," Thena said. "If we wait, Earth's gate will keep growing. We lose everything." The council gave permission. The plan was simple but risky. Stealth ship would carry the core disruptor to Earth's gate and fire it. At it, they hoped for a small breach. Enough to peek inside, Admiral Threx volunteered to lead the mission. "We can't be afraid anymore," he said. "We must show strength." The day of launch was tense. The whole council watched as the sleek black ship, named Shadowhawk, lifted off. It slipped silently through the stars toward Earth's sealed zone. Inside the Shadowhawk, Admiral Threx stood at the command console. His hands were steady, but his heart raced. Around him, the crew prepared the weapon. "We are about to cross into unknown space," the pilot said softly. Threx nodded. The ship entered the glowing edge of the gate. The light around Earth was beautiful, but strange, like the surface of a calm ocean, hiding storms beneath. Threx gave the order. "Prepare to fire the core disruptor." The crew activated the device. A beam of deep blue energy shot forward. It hit the gate's edge. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the ship trembled violently. Lights flickered. Instruments beeped wildly. Suddenly, the Shadowhawk vanished. No distress call. No explosion, just silence. Back at the council, alarms blared. The control room filled with tension. "They're gone," a technician said. Varix clenched his fists. "Send rescue ships." But before the ships could move, a small black cube appeared on the projection screen. It was the same kind of cube Earth had sent before. Varix stared at it, dread growing. A voice echoed from the cube. "You do not knock on a sealed door. You wait, or you leave." The message played over and over in every council station. The council was stunned. They had tried to break the gate and failed. Weeks passed. Ships sent to retrieve the lost crew returned empty, with only silence as their report. Meanwhile, the zone around Earth continued to expand. Stars near the gate dimmed. Communications faltered. Trade routes vanished. In a small village on a distant planet, Yari, the young alien pilot, watched news feeds with growing fear. "They pushed too far," he said to a friend. "Now, Earth is responding." One night, Yari had a strange dream. A human child stood before him, glowing softly. "Tell them," the child whispered. "Earth remembers who crossed the line." Yari woke with a start. The message felt real. Back. In the council, Varix gathered his advisors. "We cannot keep pushing," he said quietly. "But we must prepare," General Krax growled. "Prepare for what?" "The silence. The darkness. They are winning without fighting." Varix looked sad. "No, we prepare to listen. We prepare to learn. And if they return, we must be ready." On Earth, far below the surface, a council of humans watched the stars. They were calm, patient, but ready. "We warned them," said one. "They did not listen," said another. The oldest among them looked at a glowing map. Their actions shortened the time. "Time for what?" a younger human asked. "Time for change." Outside, the sealed gate pulsed softly, like a heartbeat. Earth waited. The galaxy trembled. Because Earth was no longer just a planet. It was a power, and it had made its choice. After the failed mission with the core disruptor, the Council's hope began to fade. The silence from Earth grew heavier, deeper. It was not just silence, it was a force pushing out through space itself. Ships that traveled near the sealed zone started to lose power. Engines sputtered. Communications dropped. Sensors failed. Pilots whispered about strange shadows moving just outside their vision. Some ships turned back in fear. Others disappeared without a trace. Admiral Threx sat alone in his quarters aboard his flagship. He stared at the empty star map, where Earth once shone brightly. Now, a soft glowing dome surrounded the spotted dome no one could penetrate. "We crossed the line," he whispered, "and now we pay the price." Meanwhile, on a remote mining colony near the edge of the gate, miners reported strange occurrences. Their machines stopped working. Lights flickered. Plants withered overnight. Some even claimed to hear soft voices. Carried by the wind, the colony's leader, a tough alien named Miko, gathered his people. "We must leave," he said. "This place is no longer safe." But some refused to go. They said Earth's power was a warning, not an attack. They believed Earth was protecting itself, not trying to hurt others. In the council, debates raged. Some wanted to prepare for war. Others called for peace talks. High Chancellor Varex struggled to hold the council together. He knew a war with Earth would be suicide, yet he could not convince all members to wait. One evening, a young scientist named Lyra made a discovery. She was studying the strange energy fields around Earth and noticed a pattern. "The gate is alive." She told Varex, "It reacts to us. It learns. It grows." Varex sighed. "Then we have a true enemy." But Lyra shook her head. "Not an enemy. A guardian." Suddenly messages began to appear on ships near the gate. Strange symbols glowing briefly on their screens, then disappearing. Some crews reported visions of Earth's history, its people, its pain. Yari, the young pilot, was one of them. He dreamed of a human woman holding a small child. "Tell them," she said softly. "We remember." The dream spread across the galaxy, stirring fear and curiosity. Back on Earth, deep underground, the human council watched the growing reactions. "They feel our power," said one. "But they do not understand," said another. "A third, older voice spoke, calm and clear. "We do not seek war. We seek respect." Above ground, the gate pulsed softly, glowing like a watchful eye. Its light reached out, touching stars and ships alike. In the silence after the storm, the galaxy waited for Earth's next move. The galaxy was restless. The silence from Earth was no longer just a mystery. It had become a force that moved through space like a shadow, touching every star system, every ship, every living being. Fear spread like wildfire. Some called it the quiet storm. In the council's main hall, discussions grew heated. Some members demanded action. They wanted to send the largest fleet ever assembled to break Earth's gate by force. Others warned that such a move could destroy the entire sector. High Chancellor Vorex sat quietly listening. Inside, he wrestled with doubt. Earth was not just a planet. It was a warning, a power the galaxy had never seen. One night, Yari sat alone on a hill outside his home world. The stars glittered above, but his heart was heavy. He remembered his dreams, the woman, the child, the glowing gate. He felt a call. Deep inside, a pull toward Earth. Suddenly, his communicator beeped. A message appeared. It was simple. One word. "Listen." The message came with a strange symbol, an open circle with a small dot inside. Yari's mind raced. Was this a call? A warning? Or something else? Across the galaxy, others received the same message. Pilots, scientists, even council members. The symbol spread like a secret code. In the council chambers, a young diplomat named Vila stood up. "We must listen," she said, "not attack. Earth is trying to speak." Some laughed. Others shook their heads. But Varex nodded slowly. "Prepare a delegation," he said. "We will try to communicate peacefully." The delegation was small 5 beings from different races, languages, and skills. They called themselves the Listeners. Their ship, the Starseeker, was equipped with the latest technology to communicate across unknown frequencies. As the Starseeker approached Earth's sealed zone, the gate pulsed stronger. It was like a heartbeat, steady and slow. The Listeners felt it. They sent signals, greetings, questions. For hours there was only silence. Then suddenly, the gate shimmered, and a new message came through. Not words, not sounds, images. Visions of Earth's past, of wars fought for freedom, of children playing under open skies, of kindness and pain. The listeners watched in awe. The gate then showed a single sentence in many languages. We waited. For respect, we gave silence. Now we offer trust. The Starseeker's captain, a calm alien named Relo, sent a reply. We hear you. We want peace. Days passed. The gate pulsed with light, opening small windows, showing scenes of Earth's people, their culture, their hopes. For the first time, the galaxy saw Earth not as a threat, but as a world full of life and feeling. Back in the council, news of the contact spread hope. Some cried, others cheered. But not all. Admiral Threx, once eager for war, sat in silence. His eyes were hard. Let's hope this is real, he muttered, on Earth. The human council watched the gate's communication. The galaxy listens. One said, but do they understand? A young woman stepped forward. We must prepare to welcome them, she said. But also be ready. The stars seem to hold their breath, for when Earth speaks, the galaxy listens. But will it understand? For centuries, the galaxy had believed it knew Earth. A small blue planet, once loud and proud, now silent behind a glowing gate no one could break. The Council's warnings, threats, and attempts to control had all been ignored. Earth had vanished. From maps, from conversations, and from hope. But Earth had not vanished. It had waited now, after long silence. The gate opened, not with fire or war, but with a message. The Starseeker's crew had seen Earth's soul through visions and words. They returned to the Council full of wonder and fear. The message was clear. Earth sought respect, trust, peace, but they were ready for what might come next. In the Grand Hall of the Galactic Council, the room was packed. Every species, every leader, every diplomat was there.
Oh.
This was no longer a debate. This was a turning point. High Chancellor Varix rose, his voice steady but full of emotion. Today we face a new chapter. Earth has shown us strength not through weapons, but through silence. We have learned that power comes in many forms. Let us open our hearts as the gate opens its doors. Outside the council chambers, ships prepared to move cautiously toward Earth's sealed zone. The galaxy watched. With bated breath, on Earth, deep underground, the human council stood ready. They had waited for this moment their entire lives. A young woman stepped forward, a leader who had never forgotten the past pain but held hope for the future. She spoke softly. But her words were heard across the stars. We will meet them with open hands, but with open eyes. We remember the past, we remember those who tried to control us. But we also remember kindness, courage, and the power of peace. As Earth's gates slowly opened, ships from all races began to move forward. The glowing dome shimmered, folding back like a curtain, revealing the vibrant world below. The first ships entered Earth's atmosphere, cautious but awestruck. They saw cities full of life, forests untouched, oceans sparkling under twin moons. The listeners led the way, stepping down onto Earth's soil with respect and wonder. They met humans who smiled, who welcomed, who did not hide but stood proud. For the first time, the galaxy saw Earth as it truly was, not a threat but a beacon. In the days that followed, stories spread of new friendships, shared knowledge, and mutual respect. Earth shared secrets of its technology, its culture, its deep connection to the galaxy's forces. The Council learned humility, the galaxy learned patience, and Earth learned trust. But the greatest lesson came when Earth's leaders spoke to the Council. We never wanted to fight, they said. We only wanted to be seen, to be heard, to live free. Their words echoed in every corner of space. A new treaty was signed, not of submission, but of equality. The galaxy changed that. Day not with fire or war, but with understanding. And so, Earth walked back into the stars, stronger, wiser, and never silent again.